Greetings, everyone. Hopefully this week we won't have any technical difficulties on my end. Last week the race tried to start and we got one lap in and the game crashed. And I've figured out, hopefully, to solve that problem for any future potential technical difficulties. This week we're on the Charlotte Roval configuration for 121 miles. I'm going to go ahead and let qualifying run its course for the first 5 minutes to kind of let people trickle in. Like I said last week, I tried to do practice races to kind of fill in the blank time. I think practices are kind of intensive for whatever reason. The game, being an older game on a newer system, it does weird things once in a while. You would think on a newer system that you wouldn't have troubles like that, but overall you sometimes do. Last week's winner at California was J.D. Arrington in the number 67 Bass Pro Shops Toyota. This week, since it's on a Roval, we might see a different cast of characters at the front because road course ratings are varying from the speedway ratings that people usually have. And I believe they do run 2 laps in qualifying, so on your first lap of qualifying, it looks like Cam Jordan is your fastest. Looks like last week's winner, JD, is starting 26th if they don't turn a faster lap on the second one. And I could be mistaken too. They might only turn 1 lap since it's in a road course setup. So yep, can confirm it's only one lap. Qualifying, your pole sitter is Cam Jordan. Pretty good start for Adam Starr in the number 27. Our original shakeup winner, Justin Day2 in 5th. Ewan What Army in 8th.
Make sure you get everything like you want it.
Micah Mixer in the top 10. Jules T-Roll starting 15th. Tyler Aspinall is going to have to come from pretty deep in the pack if he wants to get a top 5 this week, starting in 25th. It's likely with the road course that you won't see as much passing, so qualifying will be key. And rounding out our bottom of the field is Lynn Farrell and Nadak Hagum.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Dad, you got your radio on over there? Yeah, 10-4. Yep.
We just had to mention that this race might be chaotic. Very likely, I'm pretty certain that that is true. We're going to see some carnage and mangled up cars by the end of this race. So off to the early lead is Cam Jordan over Ryan Blaney. It looks like Adam Starr might just settle into 3rd if Logan Nagy doesn't get him on here. Logan Nagy's in the preferred line right now, going inside on this turn. Man, but Adam Starr muscles his way around him on the outside, it looks like. And there we go. Into 3rd place. Might have a potential fight for the lead here with Ryan Blaney, it looks like, as well. Pardon the minor frame rate lag that I've got going on, too. Logan Nagy's peeking inside. Nope, just a peek. Last week, Adam Gerber-Forian finished a solid top 3. And he's sitting 5th today so far. Oh, Craig Busch got a little loose there, it looks like. There's really no good way to watch it on this track because there's going to be action at every spot possible. Oh. Number 8 of Driver X and the 29 of Tristan Reams, it looked like got a little bit of bumping and grinding there. Let's see just what happened. Nothing major. Might have been a little bit harsher for Driver X there, but Tristan, I think, is going to cruise on out with minimal damage. As mentioned at the start of the broadcast, Tyler Aspinall is going to have quite the journey to the front. Having started 25th, it looks like he's still right around that spot, sitting 26th. Last week's winner, J.D. Arrington, also having a rough start. So now that they come around, it shows, yeah, so Tyler's managed to stay put where he started the race. Driver X in the number 8 seems to be riding the wall everywhere on the track right now. As I predicted, there ain't going to be much movement. We've got a few drivers that moved up one spot. And even then, as many drivers dropping back one spot. Your top 5 remains unchanged as Cam Jordan continues to lead over Ryan Blaney. As crazy as it is, our first and second place finishers from last week are deep in the pack. Second place is Tyler Disharoon running 23rd. And of course, as mentioned earlier, the 67 of J.D. Arrington, who's running 26th. The way things run right now, Adam Gerber-Forian would likely be the new points leader. having finished 3rd last week and running a solid 5th right now. Justin Day 2 would be a close second to him, as Day 2 succeeded in finishing 5th last week and having a solid 6th place run right now. Joshua Harrison had a 15th place finish, so he's probably liking the fact that he's running up a little bit higher than that this week. That's nice. Craig Busch is up to 9th. He got by Micah Mixer, and I believe he also got by the Toyota car of Tyler Landa. I'm actually quite surprised we haven't had a caution yet. They've been racing very clean, very reserved for the first 6 or so laps of this race. This right here would be the hot spot, I'm thinking, for a potential wreck, as the cars seem to get off kilter when they make that sharp, I guess you could call it a chicane or a bus stop. Looks like we got our first pit stop, or maybe potential damage on the 02 of Nadaka. It's a little early for green flag pit stop, so I assume he must have got some damage on this last lap. Looks like he already has damage to the side of the car. Okay, so we'll see right here. I'm going to fast forward and figure out where that damage came from. Looks like he's driving a very loose car. Yep, right there at that spot that we had some contact earlier. Must have been enough damage for him to come down pit road. Still completely unchanged in your top 5. And actually 6th, 7th, and 8th have remained steady throughout the race. Craig Busch, having started 11th, is up 2 spots right now. So a little bit of filler on the 02 of Nadaka. He finished last in the shakeup race. So his ratings are, all of his ratings are 0 to 100. And so that means likely that one week he might be out front leading and dominating. Or, like this race for example, at the back of the field. It'll be kind of fun to watch where kind of a ticking time bomb of sorts that he could break out and win just about any given week. But in the meantime, it doesn't look like that's going to happen today. So now that I'm looking at it, Tristan Reams is actually up 2 spots from his 21st place starting position. So yeah, unfortunately at this time being, we're going to be looking towards the first set of green flag pit stops, as it doesn't look like there's going to be a caution or anything to help stack this back up. Each time I look back up front though, it looks like Cam Jordan's lead is continuing to grow over Ryan Blaney. Although not potentially the end of the world, or it's not out of this world yet, but so yeah, let's see lap time on this one. Cam turned a 121.2 to a 121.1 on Ryan Blaney. So Ryan actually turned a faster lap there. We can actually see Nadak out further ahead. So the lap traffic of Nadak might be about 3 or 4 laps out. Laps are actually clipping away pretty quickly here as we're on lap 14 of 54. 53, my bad. An interesting note from last week, Logan Nagy had a decent start to the race, but his car greatly fell off towards the end. I don't know if that's going to happen in this race, but it's something to look out for. Currently, the fastest lap set in this race was by the number 48 of Ethan Creech. And to put into perspective where that is, or at least where he's at on the track, he's running 22nd. So once we get green flag pit stops, we'll really get to see the shakeup and see how everything falls. The other thing we can see from the fastest lap is that Ryan Blaney has actually turned his quick lap is faster than that of Cam Jordan. And I would like to say, I'm not 100% sure, but I think that lead is dwindling very, very slowly, but it looks like he's getting closer to Cam. It would be actually kind of funny if Ryan Blaney winds up doing really good in the Buschhhhh League, because he's been in my Cup Series before. So in some strange alternate universe, Ryan Blaney is actually Elliott Sadler. Or I guess even AJ Allmendinger in today's current set of drivers. I do believe at the conclusion of this race, I will run the Cup race tonight. And the only way I do the Cup race is I'll run them, and then I'll do highlights of them the next day or whenever I get around to it. Since I have such a busy weekend this week with Father's Day and whatnot, I don't really have time to run the Cup race tomorrow. But that means I get, 2 times the races tonight, so... And that makes up for the fact that there's no race on Sunday this week for the real guys, so. Yep, that lead is shrinking ever so slightly. Cam Jordan's going to want to make sure he doesn't make any mistakes on the pit stop, because Ryan Blaney will be able to get anything that is dropped. It's funny when I mention that, then he has a rough lap and is actually slower on that last lap. And the lead went from a 1.4 back to a 1.7. So it seems that JD Arrington got by Tyler Aspinall. He's got a lot of work cut out for him to get up to the front. You got Justin Patrick running 24th. Tyler Disharoon running 23rd. Ethan Creech running 22nd. Bella Fawn running 21st. If I'm not mistaken, Driver X has just made up a bunch of spots, because last I saw, he was behind Tyler Aspinall. My bad, I was mistaking Tyler Aspinall for Tristan Reams, which they are still running 20th and 19th as they are right now. 18th is Chris Hergeson. 17th, Jules T. Roll. 16th, Noah Hobson. And 15th, Connor Cooper. 14th, Dusty Redding. 13th, Riley Sorrell Tracy. 12th is Nelson Morrison. 11th is Tyler Landa. 10th is Micah Mixer. 9th is Craig Bush. 8th place is Ewan What Army. And it looks like they're actually bunching up here, so we might get some fight for positions. These guys are quite a distance behind Cam and Ryan Blaney. They still haven't caught the 0-2 of Nadak Hagum up front yet. Should be getting close to green flag pit stops here soon. That was a weird lag that I just had there. I've never ever experienced that in NR 2003. Thank God it didn't crash, knock on wood. As I was mentioning in my last broadcast, usually I have to play the game with internet turned off and after having freshly started my laptop to guarantee that the game won't crash. So this is definitely putting the game out on a ledge for me because it's doing more than I thought it would do. Yeah, the one thing with road courses is it's definitely gonna shake up the point standings. And that's held true for everything in the last, well, for everything NASCAR related. Road courses and of course super speedways are usually the wild card. Looks like we did have a retiree just now. The 52 of Micah Mixer. I'm wondering if it's just a standalone blow up or if he actually got wrecked into. Let's see. Yep, he just blew up running 10th. Which is a shame. He had a good top 10 run going. And he's going to get last place. Unless he can fix the car, but I doubt it. Usually if they blow up and they can't even make it back to pit road, that's a fatal malfunction. So now that basically moves everyone up a spot from the 10th place on back. We've got Tyler Landa into the top 10 for the first time in the race. It was actually kind of nice seeing the Moneyline cars running 9th and 10th. It's actually my team out there, the JSR entries. Looks like we got a gaggle of cars here. This might be the spot to watch right now as the tires are falling off. Cars are slowing down, bunching up, and a bigger potential for a wreck. We're slowly working our way into the midway point of this race. To get to lap 26.5, we will be midway. And luckily it looks like they'll be able to go on the south side of that for pit stops, so we won't have a gas mileage race to deal with. Nope, so Cam Jordan is slowly stretching his lead back out on Ryan Blaney. They still have not caught the 0-2 of Nadak Hagum. Actually, looks like we've had some green flag pit stops already. This is on the north side of halfway, so they're going to be pushing it. The 45 of Tyler Aspinall and the number 56 of Nelson Morrison. They pitted, I would assume, on lap 24. Yep, they were on pit road on lap 24. So retroactively, that would push them to lap 48, where they would have to make yet another pit stop. So things are about to get weird. I thought that maybe, well, it looks like Cam Jordan might be able to make it to halfway without pitting. So there's just a select few that are going to try to play the gas mileage game. Tyler A. and Nelson Morrison are out on fresher tires right now, turning faster laps. So they're likely to make up a bunch of time to the lead cars. As you can see, the lap time turned by Cam last lap was a 122.6. And we're going to have to wait till they get around to the start-finish line. Okay, so Tyler Aspinall turned a 120.127, so he's making up 2 seconds a lap right now. And those 2 seconds a lap will pay huge dividends to the cars deeper in the pack, who are likely running even slower laps. Yeah, as you can see, 123, 122 point, yeah, 123.1, 123.1. So we'll see how this gamble pays off. We've got a lot of cars now coming onto pit road, finishing their likely only stop of the race, but we don't know. This is definitely one of the highlights of road courses, that stage racing diminishes greatly. You don't get to see all these strategies play out anymore because they have stages to break them all up. It's the nice thing about with IndyCar having their races the way they have them. You get to see kind of a true strategy game going on. But if you think about it, playing devil's advocate to that, there's different strategy that comes with stage racing. Even then, I don't quite like the way they do that because people will pit with 2 laps to the end of the stage or whatever, and ultimately it doesn't make a huge difference because everyone pits on that, on that stage break that didn't, and then you got 2 laps older tires than the rest of the guys. So I don't know. The lead cars look like they're going to be able to push it far enough to not even have to worry about gas, as they've made their 27th circuit around the track. That would project them to lap 54, and it's only a 53 lap race. They're staying out another lap even, so fuel mileage is not a problem. However, the problem is now, the more laps they stay out, the more space that the guys that have pitted will gain. I think they are staying out a bit too long. It's kind of getting into the danger zone right now. For these two way out front, though, they aren't sacrificing a whole lot because they've got about a 10-second lead on the rest of the field. So, if they go 3 laps extra, they might lose 9 seconds of that 10-second deficit. Now I'm actually surprised they went another lap without pitting. So I'm thinking we're going to start to shine the spotlight on a couple of their drivers here. The caution would truly be the death of it, but I do kind of like Tyler Aspinall's strategy here. Having pitted as early as he did, he's making up a bunch of time on the guys that haven't pitted right now. Yeah, so we got drivers like, let's see, Craig Busch pitted. I don't believe Skylar Dixon has pitted yet. He's running 1:23.6. So 26th up is going to drop off exponentially. So if we look at 23rd to the first guy that pitted, 26th actually, first guy, so there's a 12-second deficit, and I'm willing to wager you lose about probably close to a minute on pit road. I'm not going to try to forecast what the outcome is here. We're just going to let it play out naturally and see. I am truly amazed though, the disparity between the pit stops here. Because it looks like, let's see, most of them might be on pit road now. A lot of our leaders with 23 laps to go. They pushed it 30 laps. A good gauge will be able to check these three here, the 27, the 44, and the 33. Which it looks like Adam Gerber-Forian made a pass on pit road with his quick pit stop. There you go. Tristan Reams had pitted previously. I want to say, yeah. And now these guys are mired way back there. So they're going to have newer rubber and more potential to pass these guys. But it also is going to be commotion. You might see some wrecks here too. Slower cars will start to hold up the faster cars. Yeah, these guys that are staying out this long, it's going to be the kiss of death. And on lap 31, we finally get the leaders into pit road. Cam Jordan and Ryan Blaney. From our first pit stoppers was all the way back on lap 24. So the nice thing about this pit strategy is they can go all out without worrying about running out of gas or wasting their tires. Nadakagum is definitely a lap down. So in the process of green flag pit stops, he is now one lap down. Second, so they hold the top two. Cam Jordan and Ryan Blaney played a masterful pit stop and masterful strategy to keep the top two positions. However, our new third place driver is now Craig Busch. New fourth place driver is Tristan Reams. And fifth place driver, Chris Hergeson. So now they're just going to have to hold on and hopefully not run out of fuel. Adam Starr dropped from 3rd to 6th. Adam Gerber-Forian from 5th to 7th. And Logan Nagy from 4th to 8th. Justin Day 2 in 9th. And it looks like Riley Sorrell Tracy just made a pass for 10th. Joshua Harrison running 11th. Ewan What Army running 12th. There we go. Tyler Aspinall's up to 14. But his strategy scares me a little bit because he's going to be pushing it on fuel unless they were pitting early to get the advantage and they weren't showing their hands. So likely the fuel might not be a problem. I didn't think of that. They might have pitted earlier knowing that they could go 30 laps. So from lap 24, that would put him at lap 54. So he should not, everything I said earlier, just scratch that. Everyone should be good on fuel. So an update, Micah Mixer is out of the race with a piston failure. This is definitely much improved for Chris Hergeson. Last week he finished 33rd, and this week he's running 5th. Also, it's pretty good improvement for Tristan as well, as he had finished 19th last week, and he's staring down the barrel of a top 5. Heck, even at this point, the guys have a good chance at second with Ryan Blaney right there in their sights. Ryan Blaney's very much improved over his last race as he had finished 28th. Craig Bush was 24th last week. Adam Starr was 25th. So a lot of the guys that had a rough first week are proving it this week. And it looks like Tristan Reams might just get second place here from Ryan Blaney. With some help from Nadak in the lap down car. But they can't get back by him. He's kind of holding up traffic here. You have a bunch of them 2 abreast. All in the meantime, the only way Cam Jordan's going to lose this race is if he has a mechanical failure. Must be the luck of the number 18. He's driving like Kyle Busch out there today. It's crazy how quiet it is out front. You don't hear or see any of the other cars in line of sight. What it is looking like, though, is that Toyota, with their win last week, we might get back-to-back wins for Toyota. In total, Tyler Aspinall's made up 11 spots. That was a hairy situation there for Craig Busch. Lap down car of Nadak gave him some trouble there. Tristan Reams is sitting in third. Chris Hergeson in fourth. Craig Busch in fifth. As they're slowly working their way around the lap traffic of Nadak. Finally, Adam Starr gets by the O2 car, as well as Adam. And now it's going to be Logan that gets the opportunity to pass him as well. Cam's got a 10-second lead on second place and even double-digit lead on everyone else followed behind him. It's a shame for you and What Army. It seemed like he had a good run going. After that green flag pit stop, though, his car hasn't been quite the same. This might very well be one of the longer races in the Sylvania Buschhhhh League. At the 121 mile mark, this race is going to stretch just a bit over 1 hour. And I'm trying to keep them all under an hour to help limit size of stream and whatnot. Along with Tyler Aspinall, another driver well improved in the race is that of Riley Sorrell Tracy, who come from 16th to now 9th. One of the unfortunate bigger losers so far would be that of Noah Hobson, who started in 13th and he's now mired back in 23rd. Heck, even the 24 of Joshua Harrison, where it started at 7th, is all the way back to 14th right now. Tyler Aspinall is up a few more spots into 12th right now. Just a side note here. Don't know how it's going to work out this way, but potentially your first 2 winners of the season are going to be people that aren't even in the Discord channel. So that's kind of funny. Correction, my bad. I didn't realize that Cam Jordan had joined the Discord channel. So that'll be nice. At least we'll have someone in the Discord channel that can celebrate the victory. My last one, I had to post it on on Reddit, and that's how they found out that they won. So right now should be one of our higher potentials for a caution. As tires start to fall off, the drivers with all the newer tires are going to start plowing through the slower traffic. And it looks like most of the damage has come from that spot on the track right there where they hang it a little bit too wide and hit the barrier. I guess it's kind of the Darlington stripe at Charlotte. It's crazy how close they come to hitting that wall too when they come out of the kink. This would be one of those where did they come from runs right here with Brian Clark. Looking back, it looks like he started 27th, and he's currently running top 10. He takes the cake for most improved in the race. It seems that things have kind of leveled out yet again. One hell of a run from Tristan Reams in the 29 car. But it seems like Ryan Blaney and Cam Jordan are just in a zip code of their own. I remember the first race at the Charlotte Roval in real life. That race was a chaotic wreck fest. This right here looks like a race where everyone's mastered the track and figured out all the ins and outs and have no trouble racing on it. Unfortunately, Justin Day2 must have had to come into pit again. As it seems. No. Yeah, he did. He came back into pit on. He was running 8th. Wow. So that kind of. Don't know what that says for Tyler Aspinall's strategy now. Another top 10 driver that shakes up the the way they're running, so everyone moves up a spot. You and What Army looks like he wants to get into the top 10 again. With very little fight from the 01 car, he has now moved into the top 10. So with 4 laps to go, it might work out for Tyler Aspinall and his strategy. It's a shame for Justin Day 2. That's going to be a big hit in the points for him, because I don't see very many people pitting here at the end. He might be able to get up a spot or two from someone else pitting, but not. He ain't gonna make up 30 spots. A decent rebound for JD Arrington. Instead of a top 25 finish, he's going to get a top 20. And as long as everything shakes out at the end here. If you're just tuning in, you haven't missed much at all. It's been green flag from the start, lap 1 to lap 50. We're right at the last 3 laps of the race, and it's been a dominant performance by Cam Jordan. Ryan Blaney has held second for the longest time. The only big changes has been the top 5 outside of the top 2. We used to, at one point, have Adam Starr, Adam Gerber-Forian, and Logan Nagy as your 3rd, 4th, and 5th driver. However, now it is Tristan Reams, Chris Hergeson, and we still have Adam Starr in the top 5 as he gets by Craig Busch to move up there. Craig Busch is on older tires than Adam Starr. So we might, oh, that might be the end of the race right there, folks. We had a caution. With NASCAR Racing 2003, we don't get no darn green-white checkers. So I gotta figure out where this caution originated from. Still green. Still green. Caution, let's see. Oh, and I was just giving props for JD Arrington making up some positions here at the end of the race, and it looks like he might be the victim of the caution. No true damage, but it looks like he's going to lose about 3 or 4 spots here. And that's where our caution originated from. So from checkers to last week to wrecker, not getting toted off on a wrecker at least, but wrecking in this race. So it seems like the strategy worked for some of the drivers. They're going to run their last two revolutions on the track under caution here. I don't see the light on the pace car going out, so you never like to see it, folks, but we're going to have a race end under caution here. I ain't crowning the champion yet because we could still have mechanical failure under the last lap. Heavily unlikely. And Cam Jordan definitely has the best car of the day, so. It's kind of morbidly fitting that this race ends under caution. The race that didn't see any cautions for 51 laps. And then we get one right at the conclusion. So our only casualty in this race was the 52 of Micah Mixer, who will be our 35th finisher today, 35th place finisher. The 02 of Nadak Hagum finishes 1 lap down. Justin Day 2 gets the hard break of the day, finishing 33rd. Tony Wilson with the 32nd. Tyler Fink with the 31st. Lynn Farrell with the 30th. And from there we got Skylar Dixon, Lucas Holmes, Roland Heidfeld, Driver X, Nelson Morrison, Noah Hobson, JD Arrington, I don't remember. Apologies. Bonner, Tyler Disharoon, Ethan Creech, Bella Fawn, Joshua Harrison, Jules T. Roll, Dusty Redding, Justin Patrick, Tyler Aspinall, Connor Cooper, Tyler Landa, Brian Clark, Ewan What Army in 10th. 9th, Riley Sorrell Tracy. 8th, Logan Nagy. 7th, Adam Gerberforian. And 6th was Craig Bush. 5th was Adam Starr. 4th, Chris Hergeson. 3rd, Tristan Reams. 2nd, none other than Ryan Blaney. And your winner of the race, Cam Jordan. My idea for the playoffs is still up in the air. I'm not sure I want to do a playoffs, but I wouldn't mind doing a playoffs. Wins should be a good enough credit for points in the regular season as it is at the end of the season. So the playoff section, or the last chunk of the season, is kind of up in the air right now. And if I get a wild, crazy idea that might just work, I'll roll with it. But in the meantime, I'm still leaning on the double point segment for my last 10 races of the season. I've been doing it in my Sylvania Cup series. That way no one is locked out of winning the championship. Anyone is still a contender, even up till race 26. We could have 35 drivers still eligible to win the championship. Although usually by lap, the last race of the year, you'll get so many guys that have stretched it out on everyone that you might only have about a 2. Maybe someone ties it up before the last race of the season. But I'm just rambling on here. Don't mind me. I'll likely get the points updated within the next day or two. If I run the cup race tonight, most of that stuff will probably go up tomorrow. The cup race will probably take me a good 2 or 3 hours to run it. So thank you everyone who did tune in. I'm gonna try to keep this on every Thursday, running the bush races. There will be a few weeks that I'll have double duty, which will probably be like a Thursday, Friday kind of deal, or maybe like Friday, Saturday, depending on how my week works out. So that's a wrap for the Charlotte Roval. Get everything saved here so I don't lose anything. And thank goodness we didn't have any crashes on the computer side. Server side would have been bad if I had a crash. Because this is a long enough race as it is. If I had a crash during this race, man, we might be up till midnight. It's midnight on the East Coast right now, but it's only 9:30 here on the Pacific side of the states. Alrighty, congratulations again to Cam Jordan for winning the race. And many of you that had a good second race compared to your first race. Sorry I didn't read any of the chats. I can't have chat on. I learn how to do that next time so I can keep an eye on chat while I'm streaming. So I'm still in the process of learning this whole situation as I've never done this before. So definitely I appreciate everyone's participation in watching the stream. So have a good night and I'll see you on the next one.